A truck driver got into a bit of a tight spot this morning. His dump truck got tangled up in overhead power lines in the southwest. He did the right thing, though, and waited inside his cab for NMAX crews to cut off the power before he stepped safely to the ground. Here's what else is making news tonight. Rescue crews search for a missing 5-year-old in the Crowsnest Pass, ramping up efforts to find the boy before another night passes. Plus, candidate nominations are in. Now it's 4 weeks to election night.
We formed a centrist political party, the Calgary Party.
The changes you need to know before voting for mayor, city councillor, and school trustee.
All this is doing is helping identify for the voters who people are.
And celebrating Indigenous talent.
I'll take you with me now.
The Calgary Incubator putting musicians on the road to success.
Well, you got to wear all hats. You got to be your manager. You got to be the artist, the producer, the social media guy. You got to do it all.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A desperate search is underway tonight for a missing 5-year-old boy in the Crowsnest Pass. He wandered away from his family Sunday morning. 5-year-old Darius McDougall was hiking with his siblings near Island Lake Campground when he disappeared. Dozens of people have been searching since yesterday for the boy. He has autism, which may prevent him from responding to others. Carson Morsuk reports.
From the air and on the ground, dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP and conservation officers are searching for 5-year-old Darius McDougall.
Family went out for a walk. Darius was not among the ones that returned. They went back to the site, searched for a good time before calling 911, and search and rescue was deployed immediately.
Searchers responded around 11:30 Sunday morning. RCMP say Darius was walking with family on a road that connects to Tent Mountain and allows camping on Crown land when he got separated. McDougall has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others.
How a 5-year-old boy will react in a specific situation is difficult at the best of times. So we need to keep that in mind. Fortunately for us, we are able to draw upon the provincial resources in Alberta.
The area off of Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC boundary includes steep terrain, with search and rescue focusing on an area about 2 kilometers in.
We are in a valley, a river valley itself. There are 2 small rivers that are also in play. There's a large bog that we continue to search, and some fairly steep, rugged, forested terrain.
Members from search groups in southwest Alberta, Lethbridge, Foothills, and Cochrane have been canvassing the area since Sunday. Police are also using helicopters, drones, and dogs to find the missing boy, also searching the water Monday afternoon.
We have not narrowed the scope. We are expanding it as appropriate for our search avenues right now.
Officers and search members will continue their efforts throughout the night.
We are very confident about a positive outcome. The weather is in our favor.
Well, RCMP and Search and Rescue are thanking the public for wanting to help find the young boy. At this time, they are asking people to avoid the area to allow their trained teams to continue their searches. Carson Morsuk, CTV News, Crowsnest Pass.
RCMP are requesting assistance from search and rescue organizations. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Calgary police said we are on the wrong road when it comes to driving in our city, with fatal collisions on an upward trend. 2024 saw the highest number of fatalities in a decade. Now the city and officers are using an ad campaign to bring awareness about the alarming trend and how to stop it. Here's Tyson Fedor.
Calgarians are dying on city roads a little more frequently.
Many of them are preventable. Excessive speed has been a factor in nearly 30% of the fatal collisions this year.
This year alone, 27 people have died in collisions, 8 were pedestrians, and 6 were motorcyclists. And we're on track to surpass last year's total of 29, a 10-year record.
I think the bigger issue is that pedestrians are getting hit in crosswalks while crossing with the right-of-way and without, and in places where there's not crosswalks. It's really more about the behavior and interacting with who the driver is instead of just walking across the road.
I don't think she saw me.
The city has partnered with police to help find solutions to cut down on crashes.
Identifying hotspots where we're seeing collision trends. We're also piloting the use of artificial intelligence so that we can do some predictive modeling of where collisions are happening.
Calgarians also feel driving in our city has become more dangerous.
Calgary drivers are showing a lot of impatience.
They cut you off, they don't signal, they tailgate. It's awful. You really have to drive defensively.
I notice, especially on Stoney, it's like the Indy 500 on there, and I think people just need to slow down and kind of take their time and just be cognizant of other drivers.
There have been several fatalities on Stoney Trail. It's also a road that does not see automated traffic enforcement once the province banned photo radar earlier this year.
We do believe that ATE does help with public safety. Having said that, we've seen fatal collisions in intersections where there never was ATE there.
Despite the sobering statistics, more people died on city roads between 1984 and 2004, averaging 37 deaths annually. In 1985, 49 people died. Between 1986 and 87, when wearing a seatbelt became law, there were 12 fewer deaths on the road.
In 2 years, 56 Calgarians have lost their lives. And so regardless of a comparison to past numbers, one is too many.
Tyson is at the site of a fatal crash in the southeast from this summer. Tyson, police really hope that these ads will have an impact.
Tara, an 18-year-old man died along 194th Avenue Southwest at Sheriff King Point. In middle of July, slamming into a pole. Police saying in that crash that speed likely a factor. But meantime, police and the city are spending about $200,000 on a 3-part video series, an ad campaign essentially that will run on social media, on TV. You will hear it on radio. You'll also see it when you head to the movie theater, a Cineplex Odeon Theater, as they will be running these campaigns for the next year. It's a message and a warning out to Calgary drivers on just the impacts that all of these deadly crashes have on everyone involved. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. Police now say a shooting on McLeod Trail on Sunday is connected to organized crime. A man in his 20s survived the targeted shooting. It happened in a parking lot near a sandwich shop at 55th Avenue Southwest. He is in stable condition. Police believe the suspect took off in a black Hyundai. That vehicle was found about 10 minutes away and had been lit on fire and abandoned. Investigators are going through the car for evidence now, but have made no arrests. Alberta RCMP have concluded their investigation into the death of an amateur mixed martial arts fighter. They say the death was not suspicious. Last November, 33-year-old fighter Trokon Doshua was injured during a charity fight on Enoch Cree Nation. He died in hospital 2 days later. The nomination period for next month's election has come to an end. Candidates for mayor, council, and school board trustee had until noon today to file their papers, which included signatures, a deposit, and a criminal record check. According to Elections Calgary, 9 people have been nominated for mayor. There will also be 8 ridings who will be voting for a new councillor this election. Candidates still have until noon tomorrow to withdraw their nomination if they change their mind. Election day is October 20th. Now, candidate names aren't the only thing that Calgary voters will see on their ballots this year. Political parties are being tested in Alberta's 2 biggest cities. Jordan Canagan is at City Hall tonight. And Jordan, 3 parties are registered in Calgary.
And Terry, it's a change the province says was made to improve transparency and increase accountability when it comes to candidates and municipal politicians. But adding political parties at the municipal level also comes with financial advantages as well. And there are 3 municipal parties hoping that it makes a difference next month. The signs are up and the official election period is underway in Calgary. And there's one major change on the ballot.
We know that the majority of people in Calgary and Edmonton and around the province don't want political parties.
Yet here they are. 3 have registered in Calgary, vying for votes in October. A Better Calgary party is running 7 council candidates across wards.
We find it easier going to the door. Do you normally vote Conservative? Yes. Can we put a lawn sign on? It makes the door knock go really quick. product too. It's a little different than just selling yourself. You're selling a philosophy as well.
Communities First is running 10 council candidates and mayoral candidate Sonia Sharp.
We know that some investments are required that may not necessarily follow traditional progressive, conservative sort of party lines. So I wouldn't call us progressives. I would say we're more of a centrist party than any of them, and right-leaning.
And the Calgary Party has candidates in all but one ward, plus mayoral candidate Brian Thiessen.
We saw the opportunity to create something really positive. So we formed a centrist political party, the Calgary Party. We have, people with masters in urban planning, and we have people who've run small businesses.
Candidates within the parties share priorities. They also share resources, too. Rules allow donations to individual candidates and to political parties, effectively doubling contribution limits.
It allows us to raise money and, purchase signs and brochures, etc., as a team.
Parties say it also provides accountability.
Last election, for example, people were voting for individuals thinking they were conservative because they said so at the door, but they really were not conservative.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, candidates do not need to belong to a party, and the vast majority of people running for mayor and council are independent. Advance voting runs October 6th to 11th, with, again, Election Day, October 20th. Nearly a week after being suspended, Disney says Jimmy Kimmel Live will be back on air tomorrow. A statement released by the company on the show's return says, in part, quote, "It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy," end quote. The show was pulled last week over comments Kimmel made about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. His removal sparked concerns around free speech in the United States.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Well, the mornings are starting to feel like fall, but the days are still pure summer. Let's bring Danielle in now. This really is a beautiful time of year.
I mean, how lucky are we? What a perfect start to the season. We're a little above normal. We have sunny skies, and this isn't just today. This entire week is going to be absolutely beautiful. In fact, tomorrow will be very summery as our daytime highs creep to those upper 20s. So today we're just a few degrees above normal. We're sitting at 20 at the airport, gusts around 30 kilometers per hour, and we could gust between 30 and 40 kilometers per hour as we head through these next few hours, and then things will quiet down in the overnight. Even look at tomorrow morning to kick off the day. 16 degrees. That's a toasty morning at 8 a.m. 27 as our high for tomorrow afternoon with nothing but sun. Your full forecast just ahead, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has served a warrant on a BC ostrich farm. It appears the cull of hundreds of birds is now imminent after an avian flu outbreak last year. And later, big changes coming to the CFL. The league says it will make the game more exciting, but players and coaches wonder why they were never consulted. The driver of an SUV was not seriously hurt after crashing into a house this afternoon. The vehicle collided with the home in Marlborough shortly after 3 p.m. Nobody inside was injured. A pair of orphaned grizzly bear cubs has a new home at the Calgary Zoo. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Services say a hunter shot and killed a grizzly bear that charged at him last week near Diamond Valley. The bear left 2 cubs behind, both of whom were born this year and would be unable to care for themselves. Wildlife officers captured the cubs and brought them to the Calgary Zoo. It appears today could be the day that 400 ostriches in British Columbia meet their fate. It comes after multiple legal attempts to save them and even some high-profile celebrity support from south of the border. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
The farm spokesperson in BC's interior said by early this morning there was a convoy of about 70 vehicles, including police and others, and by late morning BC time, they were waiting to go through search warrants with their lawyer.
Today is life versus death. Today, we need to choose life.
Universal Ostrich Farm says the dozens of vehicles on site include the RCMP and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and there's a command post set up in Edgewood, BC. Hundreds of people have been watching this YouTube live feed of the birds as the day unfolds. The RCMP would only tell CTV News the CFIA is the lead agency. Police are there to keep the peace and enforce the law, while the CFIA did not respond at all by deadline. The farm was anticipated anticipating the inspection agency would carry out the cull of about 400 ostriches by early this week and put out a call for supporters for help. And during this lengthy saga, the farm has had no shortage of big-name supporters, including the U.S. Secretary for Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who wrote to the CFIA in May hoping to save the ostriches, saying there would be significant value in studying their immune response to avian flu. This all began last December when the CFIA ordered the ostriches to be destroyed following an outbreak of avian flu. The farm spokesperson says it's been more than 200 days with no testing, and the animals have been healthy that whole time. The farm lost its bid to stop the cull in federal court and is in the middle of asking the Supreme Court to hear its case, which would include an emergency stay of the cull. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Well, we're technically into fall now.
We are into fall, and it's absolutely stunning. So here's the deal. If you thought today was nice and toasty and a good start to the season, and you're already thinking, hey, summer ended too quickly, well, then tomorrow's the day for you, because tomorrow will be in those high 20s. After that, though, we will regulate a little bit. But overall, this entire week will be fantastic. 20 degrees is the temperature right now at the airport in the city. It's also 20 in Brooks and Medicine Hat and Milk River, just above that in Lethbridge, and sitting at 18 in Pincher Creek. It was a little breezy today. Pincher Creek closer to 50 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust, and Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, 43. It's going to quiet down for Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, so it will be a quieter day overall for all of these communities. Pincher Creek, though, we should stay around the same, 40, even 50 kilometer per hour gusts possible. All right, when we look at the satellite and radar, there's not a whole lot going on right now. The weather pattern will start to change, especially by Wednesday. So we're going to have not cool temperatures, but more normal temperatures for Wednesday, and then we'll bounce back up again. Right now, this ridge of high pressure, the jet stream, is really directing all the clouds and moisture up and around us, and this is going to shift down again. So we're under this ridge right now. We'll continue to be, and it will intensify tomorrow, and then things will kind of quiet down as the jet stream pushes closer towards us on Wednesday. And that way, Wednesday, we're looking at daytime highs just in the teens, and we will bounce back to the 20s quickly. Okay, so just looking at the timeline here, the hour by hour, as that weather pattern starts to change, the jet stream will shift towards us. It will bring some cloud cover likely in on Wednesday and certainly drop our temperatures. And then this will quickly bounce back up again as another ridge builds in. So it's just a one-day thing on Wednesday. All right, here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 27 degrees for tomorrow with nothing but sun. And then on Wednesday, a few more clouds will start to creep in because of the weather pattern change. And check out the daytime high difference between Tuesday and Wednesday. Looking like a 10-degree difference. So you'll certainly notice that and feel that on Wednesday. And while it's not below normal, 17 is actually still above normal. Then we'll get right back into those 20s for Thursday and Friday with a whole lot of sunshine again. And it looks like those 20s as well will continue right through this first official weekend of fall. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. World leaders are in New York City this week at the United Nations for the 80th General Assembly. Front and center is the question of Palestinian statehood. More than 150 countries, including most recently Canada, have officially recognized Palestine. It's a political decision that now puts several G7 countries in conflict with both Israel and the United States. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
As we meet, civilians are targeted and international law trampled. In Gaza, the Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond.
As the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly opens, growing support for Palestinian statehood dominates the agenda. 3 G7 nations, Britain, France, and Canada, are recognizing the state of Palestine to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza.
We have to push on this now because, as I say, the possibility, in absolute violation of the UN Charter and an absolute violation of international law, of self-determination for the Palestinian peoples is being erased.
Carney says Hamas would not have a role in governance. Instead, Canada, in a coordinated effort with like-minded countries, will work with the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank toward a two-state solution in a plan for peace that could also call for troops.
There are many proposals, as I suspect you're aware, from variety of Arab states, combination of Arab states and European states, to which Canada would be party.
It has been nearly 2 years since the October 7th attacks, but Israel's prime minister has vowed not to stop the war until Hamas is eradicated.
The starvation and devastation are utterly intolerable.
It is not diplomacy. When Hamas is praising this conference and calling it the fruit of October 7th, we know it's a problem.
4 of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, Britain, France, Russia, and China, recognize Palestine, except for the United States.
He feels this does not do anything to release the hostages, which is the primary goal right now in Gaza, does nothing to end this conflict and bring this war to a close. And frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas.
U.S. President Donald Trump will make his stance clear when he speaks in front of the UN General Assembly on Tuesday. Right now, 150 nations recognize the state of Palestine, but the one country that has the most influence on Israel, the United States, does not. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
Severe storms have battered parts of Europe. Heavy rainfall in France left an ambulance stuck in the middle of a flooded road in the city of Toulon. Thousands of homes were also left without power in the region. In northern Italy, firefighters conducted search and rescues as torrential rain triggered widespread flooding and landslides in the northern city of Como. A super typhoon pummeled parts of the Philippines today, forcing evacuations and triggering storm alerts across Southeast Asia. Footage released by local officials shows strong winds and torrential rain causing large waves to form across the coast of the Philippines. Super Typhoon Regasa made landfall there today and is the strongest storm of the year so far. Authorities suspended work and school across Manila, with residents and coastal communities forced to evacuate. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has been dropped by several British charities over an email to Jeffrey Epstein. In a 2011 message, she describes the convicted sex offender as a, quote, steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. A children's hospice called Julia's House says the correspondence made it inappropriate for Ferguson to remain a patron for the charity. A spokesperson for Ferguson said she sent that email after Epstein threatened to sue her for defamation. Her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, stood down as a working royal over his association with Epstein. Nobody likes to lose their luggage when traveling. We will meet a couple still waiting for their bags a week after being caught up in a bomb threat investigation. And the Calgary incubator helping talented Indigenous musicians navigate the business behind the songs. Fire destroyed 2 homes in the northeast community of Coventry Hills Sunday afternoon. Everyone got out safely and crews were able to put out the flames before they spread further. There is no word on how it started. A week ago, bomb threats aboard flights from Germany to Calgary forced a NORAD response. The threats turned out to be not credible, but one couple who was aboard the flight is still waiting to receive their checked bags. As Tyler Barrow explains, there may be a reason why they haven't heard much from their airline.
Last Monday, Canadian authorities were alerted of bomb threats on 3 inbound flights from Germany to Calgary. As officials were assessing the threat's credibility, air traffic controllers were talking to pilots.
Confirm that's 40 minutes delay, on the 2440. 2440, yeah, we'll have a little bit more for you in just a second.
That incoming Condor flight did land safely, as did the other 2, and NORAD deemed the threats not credible, but passengers are still dealing with the aftermath.
Not received at airport.
Bethany and Jonathan Lagore are still waiting for their checked bags. After they landed, they say an airport employee had them fill out paperwork and said the bags would be delivered to them. They're still waiting.
Really frustrating to have to be on the phone dealing with all of this when I'm supposed to just be recovering.
The couple was returning from Romania, where Bethany had surgery. The airport told them the airline is responsible for their bags, but they have had no luck with Condor.
I have reached out every single day and have either been rerouted to phone numbers that are not assigned and not in service, or agents that cannot help me at all.
And there might be a reason they're struggling to find answers, according to one aviation expert.
That there was something that requires further investigation and a more in-depth analysis of the bags that were transferred on that airplane.
on those 3 airplanes.
Craddock says authorities stay quiet when serious threats are investigated. CTV News did reach out to Condor. The airline asked us to provide their luggage tag numbers. After responding to the request, we did not hear back.
Secretive process that basically, unfortunately, people's belongings are caught in that situation.
In total, there was 222 guests and 12 crew members on the Lagores Condor flight. Tyler Barrows, CTV News, Calgary.
CTV did reach out to both CPS and NORAD, as it is still not clear where the threat originated. Well, this was a bit like a scene out of a Hollywood blockbuster. We're getting up close to an implosion in Tennessee, all in the name of progress. The National Music Centre hosted a number of emerging Indigenous artists last week to help them navigate the business side of the industry. It's the 4th year for the program. 8 performers enrolled to learn the ins and outs from their mentors and hopefully avoid some of the pitfalls. Kevin Fleming reports.
I'll take you with me now.
She started playing an instrument when she was 12 and wrote her first song soon after. Now Demacy Ellis is learning from mentors in the Indigenous music community to help further her career.
For me, learning about how to use social media a little bit better was a really big one. And as well, just looking at maybe placing more importance in my own practice on songwriting and collaborating with other people in that process.
Ellis is one of 8 emerging Indigenous artists who took part in the National Music Centre's incubator program with a Blackfoot name.
We wanted to honor the land that the NMC is on, so the Blackfoot word, and it means Osotakino is to recognize the voice of, and that's exactly what we do with the program.
David McLeod says the program's agenda comes from the students, and mentors share their experiences they've learned the hard way.
They call it music industry or music business for a reason, so people want to know the in and outs, and several other areas as well.
Shelby Sapier's stage name is Beats, and he's keen to learn everything he can about the industry through the program.
I know what it takes. You know, you have to be business orientated. You have to know the business side of things. And if you don't know your business, then your brand isn't, going to be successful.
Kaylee Cardinal is making a living off of playing her music and says it was a lot of hard work and took a long time to get to this point in her career.
I think what it is it's you create different streams of income. You become an entrepreneur. You figure out how to make it work. And that's how I did it. So I think anybody can do it.
The spirit inside me longs for freedom.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
There's some beautiful voices there. Wow. All right. Well, we know that it doesn't matter if you win or lose. And this guy, he proves it's really all about perspective.
I win the medal.
So little Levi, he's just as excited about losing as his big brother is about winning. Couldn't care less.
He's like, what's the
right
medal?
Attitude. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what a medal is. What do I care?
He's like, but I'm cuter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our cute little matching outfits and we're good to go. Well, after more than a century, experts say an elusive shipwreck has finally been found in Lake Michigan. So in 1886, the F.J. King disappeared in a storm without a trace, earning it the name the Ghost Ship. Decades of search efforts have proved fruitless. But now a crew of intrepid citizen scientists have found and verified the wreck site thanks to a clue in a vintage newspaper clipping. It helped them narrow down their search. So the group apparently used side-scan sonar and really cutting-edge technology, remote drones to help them find the wreck. They scanned it. They were even able to create a 3D model of the elusive sunken wreck.
See, this is that thing where you think it's only in the movies.
Yeah.
And then...
That's what technology can do.
I wonder if there's a gigantic diamond on that one.
Surely there's a sunken treasure. Surely after all that work, they will find a sunken treasure. So. Yeah. Well, implosions are always fascinating to watch, and this one was caught from every possible angle. Okay, so multiple Tennessee Valley Authority cameras captured this 540-foot cooling tower meeting its demise in pretty spectacular fashion. So it's being moved to make way for future development opportunities, but boy, they made sure to bring that tower down in blockbuster style.
Yeah, could you imagine being the head engineer on that project? No pressure at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yikes.
Cool to watch though.
Pretty cool.
Well, still to come, Donald Trump links autism in children to Tylenol use by pregnant women. Parents of autistic children say that claim creates a dangerous and untrue stigma. That story's next.
Oh, Skywatch weather camera. What a wonderful start to the season. Look at that live shot. So we had the sunshine today. We had fairly calm winds today. We had some heat. We were a little above normal. We're going to be pretty toasty tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the hottest day of the week, and certainly not fall weather. 20 degrees our high today, and also our current temperature, and normal is 16. So well above normal, even at this point. When you look at temperatures across the country, 23 in Regina, 19 in Thunder Bay, 24 in Toronto, 22 in Montreal. Nice temperatures in Atlantic Canada, but of course they're dealing with huge swells and rip currents as Hurricane Gabrielle nears and just off the coast there. Okay, so right now, temperature-wise, again, we're 20 in Calgary, 17 in Banff, 20 in Medicine Hat, Milk River, Brooks, just above that in Lethbridge. So it's been a really nice day overall. Nothing going on satellite and radar. We have a weather pattern that is giving us that stability and sunshine, and that will continue tomorrow. This will falter a bit on Wednesday, so Wednesday we'll have cooler temperatures. But for tomorrow, oof, nothing but heat. Here's your Action Furnace 24-hour forecast. Fixed right or it's free. And for tomorrow morning, even to kick off the day, 16 degrees at 8 a.m. So it's a toasty morning, and it's a hot afternoon with a high of 27 degrees. Looking at other communities, 24 in Salmon Arm tomorrow, 29 in Kamloops. Again, summery overall. 23 in Edmonton, and in Alberta, it's a lot of sunshine, especially in much of southern Alberta tomorrow. Drumheller, 28 and sunny. Same thing goes for Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Milk River. And just to give you a quick little rundown for the 10-day trend, yes, Wednesday a high of 17. That will be one of the cooler ones, but then we'll be in the 20s Thursday right through the weekend until Monday of next week, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. The search for a missing 5-year-old boy continues in the Crowsnest Pass tonight, more than 24 hours since he was last seen. Yesterday morning, Darius McDougall was hiking with family near Island Lake Campground when he disappeared. The area near the Alberta-BC boundary includes steep terrain. Dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP, and conservation officers are looking for him. Nominations are now closed for next month's civic election. 9 people are in the race to be Calgary mayor. Election night is 4 weeks away. And Calgary police are warning drivers to slow down and stay alert because of a very high number of deadly crashes this year. Police say we are on track to eclipse the 10-year high, seeing 27 people die already this year, with speed a factor in about a third of those collisions. In a controversial move, President Trump is linking autism in children to the use of Tylenol during pregnancy. It's a declaration that has been debated for years and is being strongly contested today by the makers of Tylenol. That connection is already having ripple effects far beyond the medical community and into the homes of Canadians living with autism. Here's Adrian Gabriel.
When young Luca was just 3 years old, his mother, Christina Kalura, received confirmation of what she already suspected.
My thought process automatically turned to not what he can't do, but what he can do.
The medical claim being made by the Trump administration has left her fuming.
I'm literally shaking as I'm talking about it because it's so scary to think that we're now going to be creating a stigma against moms.
What type of stigma do you believe a mother such as yourself could now be facing?
What did you do when you were pregnant to cause, and I can't even say it, cause your child to have autism?
Kalura isn't alone.
When I was pregnant with my daughter, who is on the spectrum, I didn't take any medication at that time, so there was no Tylenol in the mix, and she's autistic.
Alina Cameron's daughter, Fiona, is 10 years old. Cameron is the president of the Ontario Autism Coalition. She's also an epidemiologist.
There's been language coming out of the United States recently It is very troubling to the larger autism community here in Canada.
This study, released by the American Medical Association journal JAMA, investigated use of acetaminophen during pregnancy and children's risk of autism, ADHD, and intellectual disability among nearly 2.5 million children in Sweden. It found that acetaminophen use during pregnancy was not associated with children's risk of autism, ADHD, or intellectual disability in sibling-controlled analyses.
The overwhelming consensus is that Tylenol is safe during pregnancy. It is probably the safer alternative. Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen.
For Kalura, she's trying to take the day's news from south of the border in stride.
Our main focus should be on the supports and the therapies and supporting our children of all needs and abilities.
Christina Kalura asked that we share a quote with Canadian families who may be struggling on this day. She says, "Autism is a journey I never expected, but I sure do love my tour guide." Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Provincial and territorial ministers responsible for mental health, addiction and recovery are in Banff to discuss priorities and concerns facing their regions.
We're all pulling together for the same reason, is to help people. That's what we want to do. Get out there. One of the groups says, wake up, save lives, and repeat. And that's what we do. That's our job.
The group wrote a letter to the federal government with a list of funding requests, including more aid for vulnerable Canadians. Minister Wilson says he was impressed by portions of British Columbia's treatment model and would look to put some of their solutions into practice here. 1 in 5 Albertans will experience mental illness or addiction in any given year, according to the province. A new report is accusing Canada and other major fossil fuel producing nations of derailing the world's chances of meeting targets needed to limit climate change. The report was compiled by Canada's International Institute for Sustainable Development, along with 2 other nonprofits. It says fossil fuel production levels 5 years from now are expected to be more than double the levels outlined in the 2015 Paris Agreement. The report suggests countries plan to release 120% more fossil fuels in 2030 than what is needed to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees. Instagram is rolling out a new AI tool targeting teens in Canada who registered with adult accounts. The social media giant says the technology will identify accounts that it suspects actually belong to teenagers, even if they list an adult birthday. The AI model will be trained on information, including the dates accounts were created and interactions they have with other profiles and content. If Instagram suspects a teen of trying to deceive the company by putting in an adult birthday, the platform will just place the user in a teen account. Today's the beginning of the Jewish New Year, and there are a number of celebrations in Calgary. The blowing of the shofar, or ram's horn, marks the beginning of the Jewish New Year, during which Jews ask God for forgiveness for mistakes they made in the past year. It precedes Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Jews are encouraged to give to charity and share a meal of fish with loved ones.
Sanctifying the 2 first days of the year as the head of the year, with devoting ourselves to prayers, wishes, and blessings, looking forward in a positive way to the new year.
2 days of services will be held at Shabbat Lubavitch starting tonight. And today is the first day of the major Indian festival of Navratri. It's celebrated differently in India's various regions, with some spending time in religious reflection and fasting, while others enjoy dancing and feasting. Navratri celebrates the goddess Durga and is an important event leading up to Diwali, the Festival of Lights. A Navratri event will take place in Calgary tonight at the new Indo-Canadian Centre. The CFL is getting a reboot. The goalposts are moving, the fields are getting shorter. Glenn takes a look at how the changes are going over. Team Canada is celebrating a second-place finish at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Canada sprinted to a silver medal in the men's 4x100-meter relay. Despite the wet conditions, the foursome of Andre DeGrasse, Brendan Rodney, Jerome Blake, and Aaron Brown posted a season's best time. The U.S. took gold. The Netherlands picked up bronze. Well, if you're a football fan, you know that there are a lot of differences between the CFL and NFL games. Many Canadians like that, but the CFL has announced it's making some changes. Glenn Campbell joins us from McMahon Stadium tonight. And Glenn, over the next 2 seasons, we're going to see some big differences.
Tara, in recent years, we've seen attendance dwindling in the CFL. The league is hoping these changes will make the game more exciting. The biggest changes to the CFL game will happen in 2027. The field will be shortened from 110 to 100 yards, but the width will remain the same at 65 yards. Changes in the end zone will see the upright move to the back, and the size will shrink from 20 to 15 yards. CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston says it's all about making the game more entertaining.
We think touchdowns are an important driver for fandom. And ultimately, what we're doing is we're trading field goals for touchdowns.
But next season, we'll also see changes. In 2026, the Rouge will no longer include a single point for a missed field goal attempt or when kickoffs or punts sail through the end zone without being touched.
This removes the possibility that the Grey Cup or a playoff matchup, or any game for that matter, will be decided by a missed field goal or a punt or a kickoff through the end zone.
The only way a single point will be rewarded is if a punt, field goal, or kickoff settles in the end zone and the returner fails to take it out or takes a knee. Next year, all teams will have a bench on opposite sides of the field, cutting down distances for substitutions. And a new 35-second play clock will begin as soon as the previous play is whistled dead. Stamps head coach and general manager Dave Dickinson learned about the changes on his way to practice on Monday.
Really wasn't consulted and didn't have any input on it, so I'd rather digest what I hear, go back and actually read what was put in, probably have a little bit more to say down the road.
Linebacker Adam Bighill is part of the CFL's executive board and was informed what the changes would be.
This is a bit of Stuart's vision in driving this game forward, and we're going to stand behind it as long as that's taking care of player safety and us growing in the game, and we're happy.
Online, many CFL fans are expressing outrage, from describing the changes as garbage to saying it destroys what makes the league Canadian. But here in Calgary, fans don't seem to mind.
So I think it's a pretty good rule, it'd be more excited, more fast,
The changes aren't going to be too bad, I don't think.
BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke also called the changes garbage and says players and coaches weren't consulted. Now, one thing they're not going to touch, 3-down football. The changes were approved unanimously by the CFL's lead governors, and that includes team owners and chairpersons. Tara?
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. Let's take our final peek at the forecast. Danielle, tomorrow's going to be a pretty great day.
We're so lucky. I mean, happy fall, everybody. And here's some summer weather for you. 27 degrees is our high for tomorrow. That's pretty astounding considering the time of year it is. 17 for Wednesday, so we'll regulate for Wednesday a little bit, a little more cloud cover, but then back into those 20s Thursday, Friday, and for the weekend as well. And much of next week is looking pretty toasty as well. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. And how about seeing this outside of your window? Dwight Bishop sent this one in from North Glenmore Park. And it's so beautiful. We have the leaves changing color, but it's also quite nice out as well. I should give you the address here. Is it going to go? Yes. If you are out taking pictures, this is important. Please send them in so we can share them with everybody else. Calgary Weather Pics at bellmedia.ca.
Thank you, Danielle. And thank you for your time tonight. For breaking news anytime, you can always go to our website, ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Have a great night.